Hello students, welcome to Plus 1 Political Science class. Today I will continue with lesson 5 Sovereignty. The objectives of today's class are sovereignty in globalized world, role of non-state actors and globalization, impact on functions of the state. Before discussion of today's objectives, I will discuss the key terms with you. The first term is liberalization, means removal of restrictions on something, typically on economic or political system. Globalization, the process by which organizations develop international influence. Neocolonialism, the use of economic, political, cultural pressures to control other countries. Privatization, transfer of business or service from public to private ownership and control. Facilitator, a person that makes an action or process easy. Non-state actors, an organization that has significant political influence but is not allied to any particular country or state. Now, I will discuss today's topic, that is sovereignty in globalized world. Students, it is from your pages 128 to 133. Last time, I discussed the topic sovereignty with kinds and theories. Now, I will discuss sovereignty in the globalized world. The emergence of regional associations and several non-state actors at international level has brought a change in the concept of state sovereignty. In contemporary times, increasing global interdependence, globalization, and liberalization have been together acting as a source of big limitation on the sovereignty of state. During the 20th century, the state began using its sovereignty for becoming an owner of industries. Consequently, it began widening a large amount of power over socio-economic life of the people. Globalization emerged in the sphere of international economic relations, and it began bringing change in the traditional concept of internationalism. Now, I will discuss factors placing some practical limitations on sovereignty of state. The first factor is lessened role of state in economic relations. Under this, the failure of public sector to deliver the desired goods and services for the people led to decline in the economic functions of state. Students, with the result of the percentage of multinational companies increased in India and they all are in private sector. If you check the list of top 10 companies of India, you will find the names of the private companies. So it shows a change. And is it clear? The next point is regional organizations and member states. The emergence of free trade market competition and the international economic organizations like European Union, SAARC and ASEAN, etc. have limited the scope of operation of state sovereignty in the international relations. The next point is limitations of decisions of several international institutions. It means increasing international interdependence has compelled the state to accept limitations on its external sovereignty. Each state now finds it essential to accept the rules of international economic systems like the World Trade Organization, World Bank, and International Monetary Fund. Like I give you example of India. Recently in Corona days, when our Prime Minister Modi addressed the nation, Modi announced some financial aid to the people, but in return got a help from World Bank. But must have signed some terms and condition of the World Bank. But according to this theory, it affects the sovereignty of the nation. Is it clear? Are you clear about this point now? The next point is treaty obligations of each state. It means several international treaties and conventions have placed some limitations upon all the states. All the states are today bound by the rules laid down by several such conventions. Like I give you example of India. India got independence in 1947, and on 1st January 1948 India signed an agreement on trade and tariff known as GATT, General Agreement of Trade and Tariff. But it doesn't mean India lost its sovereignty or independence, but according to this theory, it affected the sovereignty of the nation. Is it clear? The next point is role of non-state actors and sovereignty of state. The emergence of very large number of very active non-government organizations and non-state actors has seriously affected the role of state sovereignty and the nationalism in the international relations. It's a reality of present era. Like I give you example of one NGO, that is Amnesty International. Amnesty International is a non-government organization with its headquarters in United Kingdom. It works for human rights. The organization says it has more than 8 million members and supporters around the world. Students, for your general awareness, in India, its center is at Bangalore in Karnataka. No doubt, the states have their own human rights, but still they keep in guidelines the of Amnesty International also in view. Like in 2011, in India, Amnesty International guided that authorities must listen to the voices of transgender community before passing any law that adversely affects the life of transgender. So finally in 2014, Supreme Court formally recognized the transgender persons in India, granting them the right to self-identification as male, female or third gender. A private member bill was also passed by Parliament in 2016. So students, I gave you example of non-state actors and state sovereignty. The states have to consider such NGOs if they have international value. No study of contemporary international relations can be complete or realistic without a study of the role of non-state actors and their relations with the nation states. The next factor is globalization. Globalization and the several other factors, particularly the role of non-state actors, have been together responsible for putting pressure on the sovereignty of the state. But according to critics, it's valid as the state sovereignty continues to be intact in its internal and external dimensions. The state continues to be sovereign state while its functions have undergone a change. The new needs for the global level have changed the role of state in 21st century, but it doesn't mean either the end of sovereignty or a serious limitation on the sovereignty of the state. Now I will talk about globalization, the impact on the functions of the state. In the era of globalization, the functions of the state began undergoing a change. The role of the state began emerging as that of a facilitator and coordinator in place of the owner and controller of the state. However, it does not in any way mean re-adoption of a laissez-faire or principle of police state. The state continues to act as a welfare state, a natural and necessary institution performing protection and social welfare functions with improving economic life of the people. Is it clear? So students, this finishes my today's topic, that is sovereignty in the globalized world. You will read the pages from 128 to 133, and it covers a long question: what has been the impact of globalization and the role of non-state actors and non-government organizations on the concept of sovereignty of state? You will do the snap homework questions and watch the video again. Next time I will discuss the next topic. Till then, goodbye and thank you.